Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. What a lovely vase back
Thank
there.
you.
Did you put that together?
I did. I think it's a combination of probably TJ Maxx and
It
Michael's.
looks like it's alabaster.
It's not. I think I got that one at Pier 1. That one was at Pier 1. It's like little marbles, rocks.
Well, it's gorgeous. I know that.
Thank you.
Just like you. Hello, Brains, and welcome to On the Edge. Look at where you're at. You landed at the spot, the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. And we are here today with Sherí DuMond. Yeah,
Hi.
Look at that, from Oregon. She said it's cold up there, Brains. I bet.
Oh, yeah, Brains. It's so cold. Lots and lots of snow.
Exactly. But our hearts are warm. And what we want to do is we want to warm the hearts of overachievers, people that think that they are overlooked because they're super smart, because they're executives, because they have a lot of responsibility. Well, you know what? They're people too, and they get tired and they get frustrated. So Sherí has dedicated her life and her business to working with this group of individuals. She's going to give us some strategies and some tips. And maybe some of us aren't that smart and heady. Maybe she's going to help us level up, because she is a contributor in a wonderful anthology that is going to be coming out this spring. We're excited to talk about that. Brain, she got 2 cats and a dog. I want to know their name, and I want to know what they're doing. Are they up under the bed? Are they all warm and fuzzy? And she lives, like I said, in Oregon. We're going to talk about that and just coaching in general, what that looks like in today's environment. It is not the same that it was in 2019. We've had 2 years of this kerfuffle. People are, as they say, or overusing, pivoting. What does that look like? How do you coach someone that is unsure and uncertain about their direction? She's got the answers. Welcome her to the edge, Sherí DuMond. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Look at that $1 million smile, girl. You're in the wrong business. You should be in a toothpaste commercial.
Braces.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I had braces, but look, it didn't do me any good. I had a bone that grew between my teeth, and it never grew back. It never grew back. That braces things can be a challenge.
Yeah, it can, especially at a very young age. It really dings on your confidence.
Well, they're a lot different than probably when you and I had them growing up a long time ago. Now they've got these Invisaligns, and you don't even have to put the metal in your mouth.
No. I had them the last time 15 years ago. I've had them 3 times in my life. So, yeah.
Well, it's worth it, because you're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
so tell
you.
us what's behind that smile. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, like you said, I live in Oregon. I am an Oregon girl, grew up as an Oregonian, and I moved away for a few years, 10, 12 years, moved back, got recruited here to a small town called Bend, Oregon. And it's anything you would think of an outdoor resort. There's everything to do outside. And the snow doesn't bother us. It's beautiful. It's great for snowshoeing, skiing, all those outdoor sports. I do have 2 cats, which Fat Frank is over in a chair sleeping, and his little sister.
His name is Fat Frank?
Fat Frank.
I love it.
Because he's so fat. And Gracie, who's a little pipsqueak, she is on the dining room chair. And Miss Maisie, who's our boxer, is 5, and she's at daycare. So she's playing today. Happy daycare. Yeah. She hasn't gone all week, and so she was ready to burn off some energy.
You know, a lot of people say that cats and dogs don't get along. How did that work out when you introduced them to each other?
Well, it was Maisie was a little curious of Frank. Frank came first, but he didn't want anything to really do with her. Gracie, on the other hand, was a rescue a few months ago, actually August, and she loves Maisie, and she brushes up around Maisie, and she's tiny little kitten, and there's a 60-pound dog, but Maisie just does not know what to do with this thing. She just doesn't know. But sometimes they chase each other. Mostly the cats chase each other. And about half an hour ago, they were literally bouncing off the walls, the cats.
Well, they're a lot like the people that we're about to talk about that are bouncing off the walls, chasing their tail, brushing up against other individuals. You can learn a lot from, well, really, you can learn a lot about humanity by following the cue of animals.
Yeah, yeah.
So how did you get into this space? How did you get into the business of working with executives and overachievers and people with burnout syndrome?
Well, the burnout is something that a lot of men and women experience, but mostly women, because they put themselves last in their lives, always last. Their jobs come first. Their spouses or partners come first, their kids come first, their pets come first, everybody comes first. And if they complain and go, I need to be first, people look at them like they're hysterical. Like, what are you talking about? And I know this because I was there. I spent over 20 years in the corporate world, and I, over and over again, where I was becoming burnt out, and I was putting my job first. I always going for that next promotion, that next big thing. I got to be VP. I've got to do this. I got to do that. And never stepping back and going, what do I really want? I just had a conversation with someone this morning, and she's like, it's after Christmas and it's the letdown of after Christmas and the holidays, but I think I need to re-examine what I want for me. I'm 43 years old, and is there more for me? And I think we all get to that age that, yes, there is. And let's discover what that is. Let's find that new chapter. And I think more and more people are finding in 2021, it's hard for me to say 2021 now that we're into 2022. I like that. That rolls off the tongue much better. But as you look at the past year or couple years, people are saying in record numbers, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm worth more. And let's figure out.
They're not going back to work.
No.
They're creating inflation. We're not able to offload all of this cargo that's sitting out there in the bay in Los Angeles. That they're upset with the minimum wage. Okay, now that's some trickery.
Yeah.
$15 an hour, but now it's twice as much. My daughter's going to find a place, $2,600 a month for a 1-bedroom.
Yeah. Even here, it's that much.
And you look at it and you say, number one, who's making that kind of money that's able to afford a decent place in a decent neighborhood, that has all the stuff that's going on. But like you say, let me dial back a little bit, because I was a little different. I had a different mindset. I was very enthusiastic about my job. I wanted to learn everything that I could. Promotions, a little bit of a challenge. Being a Black woman in corporate America, I'm gonna give it to you straight. They look at you with a little bit of a side eye. You have to be an overachiever. So I really tried to just mingle in, learn as much as I could. And I looked at some of my friends, and when they got promotions, I would see the additional stress on their face. They're not going to give you an extra $5,000, $10,000. You are going to have to work for that like a Hebrew slave. One of my daughter's friends, I encouraged her to go and negotiate. She negotiated. They called her at home. They called her to do the schedule. When the employees wouldn't go in, she would have to do that. And I told her, you know what? It's not about the dollar amount. What do you find when you're working with these individuals that they're really looking for? Because it's not a paycheck. It's not about the money. I mean, you can have all these things. Is it the Is it the control? Is it the power? Is it the stature? Is it low self-esteem? What is it that they are really deep diving and digging for?
It's everything that you just said, but most of all, the high achievers want control. They want control at work, they want control at home, they want control in their lives, and they don't have it, and not real control. The shift for me was when I realized I hated flying, and I was flying all the time. And I had to go across the United States. So I was always on a plane. And I realized the reason I hated flying so much was because I was giving up my control. I had to give it to that pilot.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
when I released that, I didn't hate flying anymore. And the year before COVID, whenever that was, 2018, I guess, I actually hit my 1,000,000-mile flying goal. And now I don't have to fly anymore. I don't want to fly.
Really?
No, I still fly, but you reach that goal, but you let go of, oh, this is all about control. I want control. And it's the same thing about leadership too. People think to be a great leader, I need to control everything.
Right.
Well, no, you don't. You have to delegate. You have to help people rise up. That is being a leader. It's not
being a leader. I remember a gentleman, his name was Arun Serene. He was the president of AirTouch. Remember AirTouch before Verizon and all that other kind
Oh,
of stuff?
yeah.
And he told me one day, he says, April, I want you to aspire to be the bridge that carries other people safely across. And that is what a good leader is that, you have to be a good listener. As again, like you said, you have to be able to delegate. You have to be able to just sit back and let other people's ideas come to fruition. You can't think of everything. You can't do everything. It's going to cause you to be stressed. It's going to give you wrinkles. It's going to give you diarrhea. Ultimately, the money is not going to be there because you're going to, spend it other places. You don't have quality time with your family. There's so much. And like you said, women. And then women, I have seen in my experience, don't bring their feminine energy into it. They really let their masculine energy roar up because they are competing with men instead of finding their own lane. What do you say to women in this space that are, jockeying for position in this corporate world?
Well, I totally get it. I fought in that space when it was all a man's world. I wore a black suit every day. Here I am in all black, but I still like black. But it was a suit. It was a box, not a boxy suit, but it was a pantsuit because I wanted to compete with those men. I felt like I was being a warrior when I went out there and put on my black suit, and it gave me confidence. And that was all BS. It wasn't confidence. I was trying to stand up and be someone I wasn't. And when I started letting my guard down and being who I was, everything melted away. And women bring an emotional intelligence to the workforce that it takes men a long time. Most men, I will not overgeneralize. Most men, it takes them a very long time to move forward and get that emotional intelligence. But it's, having empathy, showing up for your people, not being their friends. You're not there to be friends, but having that relationship.
Say that again. Everybody it used to be, we're a family in the corporation. Oh, it's not that way. We have to look at it for what it is. It is a job. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not saying that you can't be nice, you can't be kind, you can't be flexible, you can't be encouraging, but that doesn't mean that on Sunday I need to see you at my house for dinner.
No, it doesn't. No.
But drawing the line in friendship, people overshare in the work environment. They are nosy, they're gossipy. How do you work in an environment and be friendly and not cross the boundaries of a friend. That's tough.
That is tough. Yeah. And especially if you're traveling together and you're in, you're having meals together, you're staying in the same hotel, it is drawing those lines. You're two different people, and you just have to know that there is a line there that you draw in the sand for yourself. And in each one of us, it's individual. So,
Right.
I might say, okay, let's go do this, and we go to dinner or something. But I'm going to say, okay, I'm going back to my room and, doing yoga or whatever I'm
Well,
going to do. Take my time by
what
myself.
happens a lot of times is it gets people commingle.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the person, and you get attracted to them because you are spending so much time with them. You're sharing, when that call comes through from your kid, oh, what's wrong? There's that empathetic ear, or, let's have a drink, turns into 2 or 3. So again, establishing boundaries, knowing who you are. I've always said, if I get 3 or 4 friends out of a work relationship, that's a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But friendship takes work. Building that confidence, knowing who you are, you work on that. Define confidence in today's environment. What does that look like?
That looks like so many things for people. I could say it's a Wonder Woman stance.
It's funny because I wear my S on my chest. I absolutely do. My superpower, baby.
Your superpower. Well, yeah, we all have our power tools. It's what makes you light up and be confident. It's when you're walking into that boardroom and you know that you're the only woman in that boardroom. Yes, you have to put your shoulders back. You have to walk a certain way. You better be dressed a certain way, not to get eyeballs on you, but to be confident in who you are and what you're wearing and how you feel. And you don't have to look like a rock star, but you do have to feel good with you inside. I hear a lot of tips like, oh, play your favorite song and dance. And yes, that's great. I find putting my feet on the ground, and just what April and I did before this call, is put your feet on the ground, take some breaths, set an intention, and walk in and present yourself and know what you're presenting. Practice
Right.
helps
And
confidence.
don't be a crybaby.
Yeah.
Really, it's okay to be emotional, but
Yeah.
cry after the meeting, would you please?
Yes.
Because it's a lot to edit and filter. You want to be taken seriously, and you're not going to be. But when you show vulnerability and weakness, people just think that is the floodgate, and they just go right at you. So I work with an ego coach. She's amazing. And what she has taught me is how to nurture that ego, how to feed that ego where it's weak so that it doesn't erupt. To be able to go into a room, I can go into a room literally, and just by observation, survey people's ego, what they need. Is it low self-esteem? Do they like to hold court? Is it a person that is braggadocious? Is it a person that's really smart? Is it a person that's overstressed? Whatever it is, it's okay to give them that, because that's what recharges their battery.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people want to strip you of that. They want to bring you down. They want to suppress you. That's not a good thing, because ultimately it makes you hostile. It makes you resentful, and you don't build a good team. Every single person brings something to the team. If it's nothing but the coffee, everybody has value. We have to learn to accept that in life. Now, you and I both were very, very young entrepreneurs. I was an entrepreneur at 5 years old. You were an entrepreneur at 8. What did you find interesting about business, and how did you build a business at 8 years old?
Well, I had an opportunity. I don't remember how it came into my life, but it was selling Christmas cards, personalized Christmas cards door to door. And we didn't live in a city, we lived in a country. So driveways were half a mile long. You would have to go knock on those doors in the winter. Or probably fall, if I remember right. And I would go knock on the door. What I liked about it is the money I got. I liked money at that age. It was great. And when I moved into high school, all my friends were getting jobs at Wendy's and McDonald's and, fast food places. I, for socialization, I worked at some retail stores and it was kind of boring. It was not very fun.
Mhm.
And so I had a friend, I think my mom hosted a Princess House crystal party. And I said, I
What?
want to do
Princess
that.
House, girl, their Princess House
Yeah.
was the business. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
it was. Yes, it was.
16 years old. I was slopping my Princess
Wow.
House around.
Wow.
And I had a really large paycheck every month. Well,
So
my
my
friends
adventure
didn't.
was different. I sold candy. You remember Now
Okay.
and Laters and
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers?
Oh, yeah.
I would buy packs of them, open them up, and sell them individually for a quarter after school. And boy, I had a lot of money in my pocket. So my mother's friend invited me to go with him to the outdoor swap meets. Remember when they had the flea markets
Oh, yeah.
and you could go out and buy all these things? He gave me an opportunity to sell plants. I sold 20 plants that day. 20.
Wow.
And he gave me my own little thing. But what I liked was the customer service. I
Hmm.
love the interaction with the people and challenging myself. And at a very early age, I learned to set goals. Goal setting is one of my favorite things to do. It's that time of year now to look at where I was. I'm very proud of myself. I can say I not only met them, but I exceeded my goals. The challenge is setting new goals. What else do I want? How can it get any better than this? What
Mm.
are the possibilities? What do you say to people that are about to set new goals for themselves?
Well, I just did this. You really have to know. In fact, I was just getting my goals. These are my goals for
Wow, look,
2022.
wait, look at you, look, let's see how organized you are. They are typed out, they are neat. I love it. I love it.
Well, I have to do that for my brain. That's my brain. That's how I work. So, of course, setting a goal is great. But first, you have to know your why. Because if you don't know your why, then you're not going to meet it ever. And you have to have numbers to compare it to. There has to
Right,
be something you can compare it to. I know that my goal is set towards making so much money in my business and helping so many people. And yes, those two go together. But it's also because I speak, I am writing a book. There's a lot of things that go into that. There's some investing. So all of that is how I'm going to make this amount for this year. We just bought a new house. So, I want to make sure that I definitely can keep and sustain this house and furnish it, which I'm constantly doing.
well,
So, you
and it's good.
yeah, you break it down. I can't do a whole year, and I know some people can. And if you can, that's great. But I break it down to quarter. What do I want to get done this quarter? And it probably will carry to next quarter and the quarter after that and throughout the year. But you've got to check in on a regular basis and have accountability partners.
Mhm.
I had someone today who said, how many people did you talk to yesterday? Because I know that I'm going to be able to help more people, the more people I talk to. Well, April pinged that for me today because I'm talking to all of you brains
That's
today.
right. That's right. That's right. And we're going to try to reach out to all 72,000 of them.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie. I love the
Oh.
numbers. They do that. They put a little pressure on you, and that's good because you need
Hmm.
to be accountable. But as you said, you break yours down by quarters, and I go back and revisit them before I get to that point. How can I adjust my strategy? Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I just stay idle? If you don't make your goal, it's okay. It's all right
Yeah.
because it happens sometimes. Have a stretch goal though. so that you can make it up in the next quarter or the third quarter. At the end of the year, you can go back and say, wow, I've, flopped sometime. I remember in my corporate career, this was the breaking point for me. My boss called us all in. We were in sales. We were moving some high-end multimedia projection and backup storage. And he goes, look, I need to make $1 million. If you guys make me $1 million in the next 24 hours, I'll give you guys $400 a piece cash, couple days off. We'll have a party. Whoop-de-whoop. Girl, we made $1 million in 24 hours. That put things, well, yes and no. That put things into perspective for me because it let me know that money can be an illusion. Mm-hmm. It's only the value that we place on it. 2, how hard do you really want to work for something? If you have something that you want to achieve, how much do you really want to invest in it? Number 3, what is the reward? Everybody wants to be rewarded. And you were telling me a story if you don't. I have people all the time, oh, I just want to do this for humanity. No, it doesn't have to be money, but there has to be your why. Mm-hmm. So I totally agree with that. And what are you willing to sacrifice for those things? So I put all that in the recipe. I get my money, I get my days off. We have a meeting. I'm thinking that we're going to be popping champagne. He's going to be clapping at us. He sits there, he scoots up to the edge of the desk. He leans in and he goes, well, that was a great job, team. But I just want to let you know that today's maximum is tomorrow's minimum. We need to push for $1.5 million. And I felt deflated. Yeah. So I went back to my desk. I looked at things. I got what I needed, put my lipstick on, went home and told Mr. Magnificent, I've had enough. If I can do that for him, I can do that for me. Mm-hmm. And really, what did all of this teach me? What was your learning point? What was your breaking point that just made you say, you know what? I'm going to do this for myself and I'm going to leave this corporate structure?
I really realized it when I got laid off. And that was, I had taken and moved my family. And it took a little more than that, but I had moved, my husband and we had moved from Seattle to Central Oregon, a small town with no industry except this chunk of industry that I was working in. And there was no place to go. And I was thinking, what am I going to do now? And I knew it was coming the week before. I could feel it in my gut. I should have listened. Always listen to your intuition.
Especially women, women.
I knew it was coming. Things had shifted at work. And so it happened on a Friday, fine. I got my stuff, walked out, never looked back. I had a really lousy weekend. I just kind of cried myself. I mourned that job because it was a big step up for me. And I went out there and got my next job. And it was even a bigger step up. And then I went and got another job after that when my boss turned out to, he made your boss look like a charmer with the one that you walked out on. Yeah. But I have to stay in corporate. I have to, be the breadwinner. I have to do this. I have to do that. So I got another job. And the day I walked into that job, I went, oh shit, what did I do? What am I doing here?
My girlfriend got laid off from the news industry. And she was crying and she was licking her wounds. And I go over to her house and she goes, oh my God, and they fired me. What am I going to say? And what am I going to do? And I said, you know what? You have not lived, diva, until you have been let go.
Yeah.
I told her, you know what, take that as a badge of honor. Well, what do I do about the next job? I said, you speak to it. You are honest and you are forthright. You don't have to lie. Everybody has been let go, laid off for one reason or another. There's been a change of management. They have a new direction. They've had to cut budget. Maybe you've done something wrong. There is a learning in that. don't let it impact your self-esteem, especially when you're at these high level positions. You think that that's all that who you are, and that is not who you are.
No.
You're a mother, you're a wife, you're a cat owner, you're a floral arranger. You know, you live in a small community, you invest in the community. You're a person of deep faith, whatever faith that is. You're a great cook. You know, you are a human being with blood running through your veins. A job does not make you who you are.
No.
And it's timing. Timing is everything. Everything happens for a reason in its perfect season. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it does. You know, everything came together that year and said, this is the time. This is your time. And it's when my business was born. You know, I looked at what I enjoyed out of all of the jobs I had. And what I enjoyed was coaching people and helping lift people up. You know, I was a leader in helping those people achieve their goals. And that's what I wanted to do. And you have to, again, set stretch goals and find someone to lift you up and get you moving and hold you accountable. One thing I wanted to add, April, you know, the other thing about goal setting, it's great and great to check in on a regular basis, but I just learned this and I've been using it this week and it is working like a charm. Booking myself every 15 to 20 minutes, what I need to do to get to my goals. And if I'm not doing what I need to do to get to my goals, why am I doing it? Yes, there's cooking dinner and there's the things I enjoy. If I didn't enjoy it, I'd find someone else to do it. But you know,
go ahead. I'll hire, you know, that's another thing. I'll delegate and I'll hire where I'm weak. Whatever I don't want to do, I can. But people don't do that either. They don't offset. Yeah,
you have to offset. You can't do everything. I know that I want to work out, so I have to get up an hour earlier. And that's my time. I had someone who wanted me to do a podcast with them at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, first, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I'll be in a baseball cap. And second, that's my time to work out. So sorry.
Well, you know, I do that. I have had to discipline myself. So many things were out of whack. Being an entrepreneur, people fail to realize that is one of the toughest jobs. That's probably tougher than the job that you had at the corporation because there was already a structure there. There was already a blueprint. There was a team. There was resources. There were other individuals that did, you know, you could delegate responsibility to. You didn't have to introduce yourself, build the business, pay for the business, be liable for the business, try to keep medical insurance for yourself, try to have a vacation. There's a lot that goes into being a W-2 employee as well. That's valuable. We're not taking away from that.
No.
But the entrepreneur is tough. So my sleeping was off because you were saying no to 5 o'clock in the morning. I was saying, oh, there's business on the other side of the world at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up. My circadian rhythm was off. I gained a ton of weight. Eating was off. Mindset was off because it was set on, you know, making that money, that challenge. So I had to step back and say, okay, you got to prioritize this, April. You got to get it right or you are going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
You know, so I scheduled myself working hours, 10 to 7. I scheduled myself a lunch hour. I walk away and literally go have lunch, stay away from the computer, and I turn the device off. Every time, okay, I may have the computer off, but I got the tablet on, then I'm looking at my phone. I have to disconnect, give myself some vacation time. What are some of the things that you incorporate in your coaching program with your clients?
I definitely look at what they enjoy doing and what they're not taking time to do. I really believe in self-care. And it can be working out. You know, I made a huge life change in 2019. I came back from a mastermind and I was standing next to the person I was doing her mastermind, and she's all cute and beautiful. And I felt like a frump. And I went, yeah, this isn't working for me anymore.
Right. I get it. Because
So,
I'm working on my front, honey, too. It's gonna be tight.
yeah. So, okay, back on my Peloton, back on this, back on that. And I started keto and I was very disciplined. I mean, you know how organized I am. I had an app and nothing went in my mouth without writing it down and knowing how many carbs in it. So you drop a lot of weight and you feel more confident, but it's also taking care of yourself, having those breaks. I really believe that you have to have those mental breaks every single day, and you have to feed your mind. So, listening to mindset meditations, even if it's 15 minutes, take that time during the day. It will pay off overall. You'll have a more even temper, you'll be more balanced, and you will probably not go home and snap at your partner. And we have to. I hate it when I used to get emails at 7 o'clock at night and from my boss. It's like, are you kidding me? I would write back.
You left space for that 4-letter word.
I did. But, I would write back. I'm cooking dinner. I will deal with this in the morning. This is not my time. Mm-hmm. So, and you have to, even with your bosses, create those boundaries. If it's expected that you work 24/7, that's not the place for you. No. So we work on those boundaries, and we work really hard on those boundaries for yourself, in your job, with your partner. If you have a relationship, you have to nurture that. You can't just come home and be, oh, I'm on my computer. I'll get back to you soon. You can't do that. You have to nurture those. And especially, you have to make time for your kids, but you have to make time for your spouse. That relationship is going to be there for a very long time. Well, someday those kids leave.
That was the first thing our pediatrician told us, is to find a good babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to, look at you even put your dog in doggy daycare. But it's important because that person feeds off of your energy. They're looking to you for support. They're looking to you for some good sex. They're looking to you for relaxation, for a good conversation, just some playtime. We had a great time. We drove to the Grand Canyon. I've been married to Mr. Magnificent for 37 years. And, we discovered things that we had never talked about before. You are ever evolving. So relationships are key.
Yeah.
They are also the person that's going to encourage you and springboard you into your next great adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So speaking of next great adventures, tell us a little bit about what you have upcoming, your book, and how to get in contact with you.
Well, I feel like I am on a great adventure. December was an adventure. We lived in a hotel with 2 cats because our house closed and our new house wasn't ready. It's new construction. So, I feel like the next chapter has really started for us. We're in a new area and it's fun. But for my business, what I have coming up is you're going to be seeing a lot more of me this year, because I will be on more podcasts and I can't wait for that. It's coming this spring. I have my books coming out. It's a series of ebooks. So excited. We were going to do one big book, but decided to get it out as fast as possible. We're getting revved up for that. I'm working with another coach that we're doing a mastermind, accelerator and mastermind coming up in February. So you'll be seeing that. And you can always find me on Facebook, Sherí DuMond. And I would love to connect with you. Definitely let me know where you found me. And also I'm on LinkedIn, and you can reach me at Sherí at Confident Warriors, and that's warriors with an S.com. And I would be happy to connect with you.
Rains, are you ready to explore the word confidence, what that means in today's environment, it doesn't look the same. It's okay to slice and dice. It's okay to revisit. It's okay to make a goal and maybe not achieve it. But as long as you are putting forth an effort, one foot in front of the other, looking back at your accomplishments, looking back at your challenges, and considering them a victory. Number one, you overcame them. Number two, you know what not to do again. So thank you so much, Sherí DuMond, for being here with that $1 million smile. I'm so proud of you as a woman, as an encourager, as a confidence warrior. Brains, I need you to go right here. You see all this information right here? I'm on the wrong side. I need you to like, love, and share this broadcast as well as others with other individuals that you may know, or listen to it again for yourself. It's very important that you go in and subscribe to me and Sherí's websites, podcasts. Listen to them. It's a lot of valuable information. I thank you so much for being here on the edge with me and my brains. Please keep me informed of what's going on. And when I come up that way, I'm telling you, I'm calling you. We'll be able to, we'll be able to, as we say, holla. We will be able to get together and have some coffee and sit down and really, banter back and forth. You've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Edge.
Thanks, April. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Bye, Brains.
Bye, Brains.